Hi everybody, this is Lisa, and it's time again for another Verbling class. In this hour, we are going to be having a reading class, and if you have a reservation, you can go ahead and get that now by clicking the blue button. Hi Aisha, how are you doing? And if you, if you don't have a reservation and you want to get one, you can get one now, or you can wait until the green Join Class button appears after the first 2 minutes of the class. So, hi there, Anna. How are you? Ana Laura? Get your mic. Hi there.
Of the class.
Hi, teacher.
So, hi there, Anna. How are you? Ana Laura?
Go ahead and close your Verbling window. Then we won't hear the echo.
Hi there, Anna. How are you? Ana Laura? Go ahead and close your Verbling window. Then we won't hear.
Okay. How are you doing, Anna?
Is it better?
Yes, that's better. Yeah. Yeah, when you come into the class, if you leave the Verbling window open, then I hear the recording.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So where are you from, Anna? Anna? Can you hear me?
I come from Mexico.
Oh, okay. Great. Awesome. And Aisha is from Canada, Montreal, Canada. And
yes,
we're just...
teacher.
Yeah, okay. So today I have, usually I do an article or some like current events or something, but I thought today it might be fun just to practice reading about a biography. So a biography is a little story of somebody's life, basically, and I thought a lot of people would be familiar with the actor, comedian Jim Carrey, so I chose to read the Wikipedia page about him. Not all of it, but just some of it, so we can practice some of that vocabulary when you're talking about somebody's life and what they've been doing and that type of thing. So, hi there, Conrad. How are you?
Fine, Lisa. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing you, actually.
Yeah.
Usually,
my camera is working. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice
So,
to see you.
are you still in London, or where are you now? Back home?
No, I am in London, but I have an accident. I have an accident. Yeah.
What? Oh, ow! What happened?
I fell off in the street because it's so slippery.
Oh, it's really icy or something?
Yeah.
Oh, ouch!
I broken my arm. The bone of my arm is broken.
Wow. Did it hurt?
Not really. I have with medical license.
So now you have a cast on.
A cast, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. For how long? 6 weeks, probably.
1 week. 1 week. How long?
Oh. Okay.
No. What? How long? It's 3 or 4 months more.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Okay.
I want to write in here. Lisa Berblin is the best teacher.
Thank you. Okay. Wow. Well, I bet you didn't expect that was going to happen in London, huh? That's a surprise.
I am in London. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am in my little vacations. More time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not ruining your vacation though to have a broken arm?
No. It's no vacation, but it's a sort of forced vacation.
Oh, forced vacation?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with your arm. Okay. And Nukmal, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I see that we have a lot of people who have opened the Google document that I put up. And if you want to come and you want to read with us, then go ahead and click on the green Join Class button. That is how you get into the Google Hangouts down here. And we're going to take turns reading and discussing any of the vocabulary that might be new for you that you want to understand better. And maybe we'll also get to talk a little bit about Jim Carrey and if we've watched any of his movies or something like that. So it's going to be reading but also speaking about him as well. I'm kind of assuming that people know who Jim Carrey is. Is that true? Do you guys know Jim Carrey? Okay.
Famous actor.
Yeah.
So funny. So
Yes,
funny.
he's a funny guy. Yeah. So I enjoy some of his movies, and so I thought it would be something new to read a biography. Usually we're reading things about solar panels and, you know, other current events and giant snails attacking houses and stuff, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so we don't have too many people in our class tonight, so everybody's going to get to read quite a bit. I'm just going to say if people are out there watching the class and you want to join, you just click on the green button and that brings you into the Google Hangout, and then that way you can read along with us. Okay, so here we go. Let's just get into it so we can use our time that we have together. So this is Jim Carrey, looking a little older than he has. He used to look really young in his early movies. He's getting older, just like all of us. All right, I'll read, and then you guys will read. Okay? So.
Okay.
James Eugene, or Jim Carrey, born January 17th, 1962, is a Canadian-American actor, comedian, and producer. Carrey has received 4 Golden Globe Award nominations, winning 2. Known for his highly energetic slapstick performances, he has been described as one of the biggest movie stars in Hollywood. Okay, Aisha. Aisha, do you want to read that? Your microphone might be muted.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear you now.
What do you want me to read?
Just read the same thing that I just read. I'm going to read it first so everybody can hear my pronunciation, and then I'll have you guys read again.
Okay. James Eugene Jim Carrey, born January 17, 1962. He is a Canadian-American actor, comedian, and producer. Carrey has received 4 Golden Globe Award nominations, winning 2. Known for his highly energetic slapstick performance, he has been described as one of the biggest movie stars in Hollywood.
Okay, so now I'll go through some of the vocabulary. Conrad, you were asking about slapstick. So what the word slapstick means is, you know, Jim Carrey, how he's very famous for kind of like, it's also called a body humor. It's just the kind of comedy where he's like falling over himself and, you know, just using his faces, you know, like making funny faces and that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily just jokes, but also his way he moves his body that makes it funny. Does that make sense?
Funny.
Yeah, that's his kind of comedy. So yeah, it's highly energetic. If you watch, have you guys seen the movie Liar Liar? The movie Liar Liar that he was in, he did that a lot. He used his body. It was really funny, and he was falling all over the place, and you know, being very dramatic. It's very highly energetic. The other word here is nominations. When you get nominated for an award, that means you're one of the people who might win, but he won 2 only. He was nominated for 4, but he won 2. Yeah. Carrey first gained recognition in 1990 after landing a recurring role in the sketch comedy In Living Color. His first leading roles in major productions came with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, 1994, Dumb and Dumber, 1994, The Mask, 1994, and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, 1995. Okay, Ana Laura, you want to read that paragraph?
Yes, teacher.
Great.
Carrey first gained recognition in 1990 after landing a recurring role in the sketch comedy In Living Color. His first
Yeah, go ahead.
landing roles in
Leading
major
roles.
productions came with
Yep.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective,
Detective.
1990, Detective, 1994, Dumb and Dumber,
Mm-hmm.
1994, The Mask, 1994, and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Yes. Okay, good. So he gained recognition. So to gain something means to get. So he got recognition, and recognition means he was known for. So he was. This is talking about when he started becoming more popular. So people started to recognize him. He landed. So when you land something like a role, that means you got the role. Like actors land roles in movies, for example, they get roles, and he had a recurring role. So this was a role that happened a lot for him in a sketch. So this was a show. In Living Color was a comedy show in the 1990s, and he was involved in a lot of the sketches. And a comedy sketch is, like 2 or 3 minutes long. They do something funny. Usually they're making fun of people or just kind of creating something that's funny. Like Saturday Night Live is a famous comedy show that has lots of sketches. They're just a couple of minutes long each time. But his first,
Lisa,
yes, Conrad.
you could say, for example, Fitz gaining recognition. Could I say he became to be a public figure?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could also say like he became more well known. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it happened for him. Is he got that role, part you could say, and Living Color, and then he started to work in the movies. And so when you talk about major productions, those are big films. So of course in the United States, there's lots of people making movies all the time, but a major production would be a really popular film that's going to be shown all throughout the country and probably in other countries as well. So that was with Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and the other Ace Ventura. Did you guys see any of those movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yep.
Ace Ventura.
The Mask.
Yeah,
Ace
The Mask.
Ventura.
Yeah. Which one did you like?
The Mask.
Yeah, The Mask. Yeah, that was a neat one. Ace Ventura Pet Detective was kind of strange and funny, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, Conrad.
What's meaning of with after landing?
After landing. Okay, so what they're saying is after he got that role on the comedy TV show In Living Color, that's when he started becoming famous. So after landing a recurring role. So after he started working on that show, that's what it means. When you land something, it means you get it. So if I say to somebody, if I say to you, Conrad, did you land that new job you wanted? That means like I'm asking you, did you get the new job that you wanted? So he landed it. That means he got it. So it's kind of, yeah. It just means to get. It just means to get the job you want.
Okay.
To get the role. Yeah, you landed it. It's an expression because obviously land, the typical meaning of the word or the verb to land is like an airplane, is landing. It comes to ground. That's what it usually means. But in this case, it means something completely different. It just means to get the job that you were wanting. You landed it. You got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In 1997, he gave a critically acclaimed performance in Liar Liar, which earned him a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor. He then starred in the critically acclaimed hits The Truman Show, 1998, and Man on the Moon, 1999, with each garnering him a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. Okay, Eduardo, you joined us. Would you like to read?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In 1997, he gave a critically acclaimed performance in Liar Liar, which earned him a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor. He then starred in the critically acclaimed hits The Truman Show, 1998, and Man on the Moon, 1999, with each garnering him a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor.
Right. So when it says critically acclaimed, so you're probably familiar that we have in the United States and other countries too have movie critics. Those are people who watch the movies and then they write about them in the newspapers or on blogs now or something like that. And so if a movie is critically acclaimed, that means the critics liked it. So it was a hit.
I see.
Yeah. So that the critics, they really liked Liar Liar, and then it earned him, so it got him. He won a nomination. He didn't actually win it, but he got nominated for this Golden Globe Award based on his performance in that movie. And then he starred, so, yes?
Sorry, is earned the same with got?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And so then he starred, so that means he was the main actor in that movie. Again, another hit, critically acclaimed hit. And yes, garnering him a Golden Globe Award. So this part is just kind of talking about how his career has been going. In 2000, he gained further recognition for his portrayal of the Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 3 years later, Carrey starred in the major blockbuster film Bruce Almighty, 2003. The following year, he starred in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, for which he received another Golden Globe nomination, in addition to a BAFTA Award nomination. Okay, Conrad, you want to read that?
Okay. In 2000, he gained further recognition for his portrayal of the Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 3 years later, Carrey starred in the major blockbuster films Bruce Almighty, 2003. The following year, he starred in The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2004, for which he received another Golden Globe nomination in addition to a BAFTA Award nomination.
So again, he gained means he got more recognition, so he's becoming even more popular now. And his portrayal, so when we talk about actors and movie stars and stuff, and they're playing certain parts in a movie, we call that their portrayal, so how they act as that certain character. So his portrayal of the Grinch, so the Grinch is the main character in the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and so people really liked how he acted that part. Then the major blockbuster, way to say that the film was very popular, and a blockbuster means it made a lot of money at the box office. And then he did these other ones, and he also got another award nomination. And then,
Lisa,
yes?
could you explain again, please, the portrayal?
Yes. Okay, so his portrayal of the Grinch. So that's what you want to focus on right here. So what that means is his portrayal is how he played that part, how he acted. So, for example, if it would have been another movie star, say like Johnny Depp or something, then he would have done it in a different way. So that would have been his portrayal. So when you're talking about a portrayal, that means it's kind of individual to how that person acts that certain part. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. His portrayal. All right. He then starred in popular productions Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Fun with Dick and Jane, Yes Man, A Christmas Carol, and Mr. Popper's Penguins. So those were some other ones. Nukmal, why don't you read that?
Okay. He then starred in popular productions Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Fun with Dick and Jane, Yes Man, A Christmas Carol, and Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Did you guys see any of those movies?
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
Lemony
yes,
Snicket's.
Oh, you did? Was it good?
Yeah, yeah, it was very interesting.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I only saw Fun with Dick and Jane. That was kind of funny. But I didn't see the other ones. But it's...
And so, yes, ma'am.
Which one? Oh, you saw Yes Man?
Yeah.
Was it funny?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, like always. Interestingly enough, I was in New York City in November, probably 2010, and they were filming Mr. Popper's Penguins, and we were walking down the street, and they were making snow because there was no snow really, and they were making snow, and we asked them why, and they said it was because they were filming that movie, Mr. Popper's Penguins. So that's kind of fun. Okay, let's see. In 2013, he is starring in The Incredible Burt Wonderstone as Steve Gray and Kick-Ass 2 as Colonel Stars and Stripes. Carrey is in talks to reprise his role of Lloyd Christmas in Dumb and Dumber 2, and he stated in March 2013 that the film will hopefully be worked on in 2014. In 2012, it was announced that he will star in a sequel to Bruce Almighty. Okay, Aisha?
Yes. In 2003, In 2003, he starred in The Incredible Burt Wonderstone as Steve Gray and Kick-Ass 2 and Colonel Stars and Stripes. Carrey is in talks to reprise his role of Lloyd Christmas in Dumb and Dumber 2, and he said in March 2003 that the film will hopefully be worked in 2014. In 2012, it was announced that he will star in the sequel to Bruce
Almighty. Yeah.
Almighty.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this one you guys probably know. So he is starring in. So they talk about movies and actors who are starring in. That means they're one of the main characters, or the main character, perhaps. They're the stars of the show. And this word in English is kind of a tricky word because we say it colonel. So it actually sounds more like, but it's talking about a position in the military. So a colonel is a high official in the military. So he's going to be called Colonel Stars and Stripes, which is a kind of a funny name because Stars and Stripes refers to the American flag. The American flag is often known as the stars and the stripes. So, and then this is kind of funny here. So he is in talks, but that means he's, talking about they're negotiating to reprise. So that's back his role to be that same character in a sequel to this movie Dumb and Dumber. And of course, because they're dumb, they put 2 there instead of the number 2. So that's kind of funny. Dumb and Dumber 2. Stated, okay, and then, yeah, sequel. That's just the word for the next movie that comes out. So, like, there's the first movie, and then the sequel is the second movie that comes in the series, if there's a series, or the second movie. Okay, now we're going to read about, does anybody have any questions in there? About anything? No?
Sequel? Could you explain again sequel?
Yes. So, for example, Bruce Almighty was the first movie. Now, if they are going to do a sequel, it's the next movie. But it's number 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sometimes, go ahead.
It's only using refers related to the movies, or you could use it in different meanings.
Yeah, it could also be used like with books. The sequel to some book is going to be coming out next fall. that means the second book in the series. So it's it's the one that comes out. Yeah.
Okay,
The sequel. So the sequel is the second. So you always have like the first movie that was made or the first book that was written, but the sequel is the number 2. Now sometimes if it becomes really popular, they try to do more. So maybe a third one comes out. That's not the sequel. That's the something like the trickle or something. I forget. But so sequel is like number 2. It's the second one. Yeah. And it can be for movies or it could be for books. It basically, though, means that it's carrying on the same storyline. So it's not something that's totally unrelated. It's like the next part of the story. Okay? So Bruce Almighty, it might be Bruce Almighty 2, but then it might have another a name that tells you a little bit more.
Sorry, Lisa, is it same like series?
Yeah, but usually the sequel, usually it's just 1 and 2 sequel.
Okay.
If you have a series,
which is like
it's usually more.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, right. It's another word for it is I'll write it in the chat. Oops, it's called. I get muted now when I write, so it's called a follow-up. So another word for sequel could be a follow-up. So it's just the next movie. A lot of times they know that they're going to make 2 movies already, and they just put 1 out. But sometimes they don't know, like maybe they didn't realize how popular the movie would be. And if it was really popular and it made them a lot of money, then they go back and they try to write the sequel so that they can make another movie. Because oftentimes people want another movie because they liked it so much, they want to know what happens next, what's going to come. And so a lot of times the sequels can make a good money too because people already liked the first movie. Yeah, like the Twilight movies. Sometimes though they have a series, like Harry Potter movies, they didn't just have 1 sequel, they had a series. So because it was based on a book, you already knew that all these movies were going to come out. Also kind of like the Star Wars movies, but that was a trilogy is 3. Yeah, so they know 3.
The Lord of the Rings.
Or the Lord of the Rings, yeah, those kinds of things. Yeah. Okay. So let's read about his early life. James Eugene Carrey was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. The son of Kathleen née Oram, that means born, Oram, a homemaker, and Percy Carrey, 1927 to 1994, a musician and accountant. He has 3 older siblings, John, Patricia, and Rita. He was raised Roman Catholic. His mother was of French, Irish, and Scottish descent, and his father was of French-Canadian ancestry. The family's original surname was Carrey. Okay, I didn't know that. Early life. Okay, let's see. Ana Laura, you want to read?
Yes, teacher.
Great.
Early life. James Eugene Carrey was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, the son of Kathleen, a homemaker, and Percy Carrey, 1927, from 1927 to 1994, a musician and accountant. He has 3 older siblings, John, Patricia, and Rita. He was raised Roman Catholic. His mother was of French, Irish, and Scottish descent, and his father was a French-Canadian ancestry. The family's original surname was Carrey.
Aisha, did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Okay, let's go here. So everybody knows when he was born. That means so we know that. Homemaker, that means she stayed and she took care of the kids in the house and that type of thing.
Housewife.
Yeah, housewives. Yep. And his dad was a musician and an accountant. So you probably know what accountant is, a person who deals with money, finances, taxes, things like that. He has 3 older siblings, so those are his brothers and sisters. And he was raised. So, Conrad, we say that just means he was brought up going to church. So if you say he was raised Roman Catholic, that means that his family was Catholic. So you could say that also about he was raised Christian, he was raised Jewish, he was raised atheist, something like that. His parents, your parents, raise you. That means they take care of you as you are growing up. And a lot of times you do what your parents do. So especially in religion, you are often raised in the same way that your parents live. So if they're Roman Catholic, that means they raise you, they take care of you, and they take you to church, and they teach you about that religion, for example. Does that make sense, Conrad? Yeah.
Yes, Lisa. Thanks.
Okay, great. Yes. Yeah, not necessarily baptized. That would be something different. It just means that if you are raised, for example, I just was in the state of Utah last week, and I was going down the river trip, and one of the river guides, she was from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Utah is a state that is known to have a lot of Mormons. That's the major religion in Utah is Mormonism, and she was raised Mormon. So she went, her parents took her to church, and she learned all of the stuff that you learn when you go to the Mormon church, but she no longer practices it. So just because she was raised that way doesn't necessarily mean that you always choose that later on in life, but that's what happens when you're young. Okay. And
Lisa?
yeah.
Could I say he was raised in a conservative family?
Yes, you could say that. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, raised just means that's how you grew up. That's how your parents taught you. So you were raised, you grew up in a conservative family, in a liberal family, in a Catholic family, in a Christian family, in a Muslim family, any of those, that means you could say those things. All right, so from descent means, so his mother had all these different roots or ancestry from France, from Ireland, from Scotland, and then his dad was French Canadian, and it looks like they changed their name a little bit. That's pretty popular. I don't know so much about Canada because I'm not Canadian, but in the United States there are lots and lots of people who have last names that have been changed a little bit because maybe they came from different parts of Europe or other parts of the world, and they wanted them to sound more English, and so they changed their names to sound more English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the name is common here.
Say it again, Aisha?
The name is common.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
The French one or the one with the Y?
The French one.
The French one. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. And how do you say that correctly in French?
You say it very well. It's Carrey.
Carrey. Okay. All right. Thank you. During an interview with James Lipton at the Actors Studio, Jim stated, "My father was a musician who got a regular job to support his children. When he lost his job, that's when everything fell apart. We went from lower middle class to poor. We were living out of a van. I quit school at age 15 to begin working to help support my family as a janitor. I'd have a baseball bat on my janitor cart because I was so angry I just wanted to beat the heck out of something." Okay, Eduardo. Eduardo,
Yes.
you want to read that?
Okay. During an interview with James Lipton at the Actors Studio, James stated, "My father was a musician who got a regular job to support his children. When he lost his job, that's when everything fell apart. We went from lower middle class to poor. We were living out of a van. I quit school at the age 15 to begin working to help support my family as a janitor. I have a baseball bat on my janitor car because I was so angry. I just want to beat the heck out of something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, you guys probably realize that around the world, it can be very difficult for creative people to try to make a living. So that's what he's talking about here, is that his father was a musician, but he got what we call a regular job. So a regular job, when you're talking about an artist and you'd say they got a regular job, that means they got some kind of job where they can actually make some money, because it can often be difficult to make money as an artist or a musician or an actor or something like that. So he wanted to support his children. That means to pay the bills, to be able to pay to raise his children. But he lost his job and everything fell apart. So that's an expression that basically means he wasn't able to pay his bills, and of course they couldn't probably afford to live in an apartment. That's why they were living in a van. And so Jim, it sounds like he was the youngest one, but at age 15 he had to work to help support his family. He was a janitor. A janitor is somebody who cleans up. So you could be a janitor at a school, you could be a janitor at a business or a big building, but basically you work at night and you clean up. So you go and you dump out the trash and you maybe
Excuse me.
vacuum. Yes.
How much a janitor in US can earn in a month?
Wow, that's really different. Let's see. Probably a janitor makes 15. I think a janitor, depending on where they're working, can make $15 to $20 per hour. So it's not too bad. It's not the worst kind of job, and it just depends on where you work. Like if you work for a school and you work every night, probably for 8 hours or 6 hours every night, 5 days a week, you probably make pretty good money. Actually, my uncle, he worked as a janitor at the school that his kids went to when they were younger, and I think he liked it. It's kind of a job that you can be by yourself and you're just cleaning up and nobody's bugging you or telling you what to do, that kind of stuff. But obviously it was not what Jim Carrey wanted to be doing his whole life. So yeah. So he was very angry. He probably was very angry that he was so poor, that he didn't make any money, that he wasn't able to go to school, and he wanted to beat the heck out of something. The word heck you hear a lot about in English. It's kind of one of those words you can say in the middle of anything, like get the heck out of here, or what the heck are you doing in here, or what the heck did you say, just is kind of adding emphasis that you're kind of frustrated about something usually.
So what the heck is it?
Yeah, what the heck is it? Yeah, right. You could say that. Yep. Or what it's very common for you to hear something like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Like if somebody's telling you something and you don't understand what they're saying, and it sounds like they're lying, or maybe they're telling a story. Somebody might say, "What the heck? What are you talking about?" I don't understand anything. So they would say it like that, like if your kid was telling you a story or something. Okay. After his family moved to Scarborough, Ontario, he attended Blessed Trinity Catholic School in North York for 2 years, enrolled at Agincourt Collegiate Institute for another year, then briefly attended Northview Heights Secondary School. Jim never finished high school because he worked full-time to help his family survive the severe economic hardship, and also helped care for his mother, who battled a severe chronic illness. Okay, Conrad.
Okay. After his family moved to Scarborough, Ontario, he attended Blessed Trinity Catholic School in North York. For 2 years, enrolled at Agincourt College Institute for another year, then briefly attends Northview Heights Secondary School. James never finished high school because he worked full-time to help his family survive the severe economic hardship, and also helped care for his mother, who battled a severe chronic illness.
Okay. So his family moved, and he attended. So when you attend a school class, that means you go there. And he was enrolled. That's another word for when you sign up to go do something like a program or a school. You are enrolled, or you enroll in the program. And then he briefly, so that just means for a very short time, he went to this other secondary school, but he never finished high school. He had to work full time. And this word here, severe economic hardship. Family just sounds like they were very poor. And I'm pretty sure, Aisha, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Ontario is probably a pretty harsh place to live in the winter time. Is there a lot of snow in Ontario?
Yes, but like Montreal too.
Yeah, so it's hard to be poor when you have to live in the snow and the cold and everything. So it sounds like he had to work quite a bit to help for the family to be able to survive, which means to be able to feed themselves and have an apartment to live in or something like that. And then it sounds like his mom. When people talk about people who have illnesses, they're battling. It means they're sick. They're going against the illness. They're trying to survive. We say they're battling.
Lisa?
Yes? Uh-huh.
What's the difference between hardships and shortage?
Between hardship and what?
Shortage. Let me write.
Yeah, okay, right. Oh, shortage, okay. Yeah. Okay, it's different. So economic hardship means it's a word that describes that they're having difficulties paying for things. They're in a hard place, a difficult place. But a shortage refers more to the actual amount of something that you have. So you could have a shortage of food. That means you don't have enough. A shortage of money. A shortage of time. So you can use the word shortage to describe that you don't have enough. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and hardship just means you might have lots of different types of hardships. A hardship could be that you do have a shortage of food or money, but it also could be that you're sick or you lost your job, or that would be a hardship. Is just something that's difficult for you to deal with. And so to battle the illness means that you're working, you're trying to take your medications, you're trying to take care of yourself, but it doesn't mean that you're getting better. So Toko, in the Verbling chat, you wrote, what's the difference between the battle and to overcome? Well, if you overcome it, then that means you are better. You got better. So you are no longer sick anymore. But when you're battling, you're still sick. You're still trying to figure out how to get better. And in this case, chronic means it's some kind of illness, I don't know what it was, that is happening, happens for a long time. She's ill. That's different than if you have an acute.
Yeah, acute.
It's very small. If you have an acute illness, that means maybe you got the stomach flu and you just threw up for the day or something, or like Conrad, you broke your arm. That's just something that happened. It's going to get better though. You're not going to live with a broken arm for the next 5 years. So yeah, it's acute. Okay. Did anybody else have any other questions? Guardian, caretaker. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't really what a janitor was. Okay, Carrey lived in Burlington, Ontario for 8 years and attended Aldershot High School, where he once opened for 1980s new wave band Spoons. In a Hamilton Spectator interview, February 2007, Carrey remarked, "If my career in show business hadn't panned out, I would probably be working today in Hamilton, Ontario, at the Dofasco Steel Mill." Okay. So, let's see. Man, you want to read? Check your microphone, make sure it's not muted. Man. Okay, Nahum, you want to read?
Carl, I listen to you.
Okay, there you are. Whoever gets to it first. Aman, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Carrey lived in
Burlington.
Burlington,
Yep.
Ontario
Mm-hmm.
for 8 years in Aldershot High School,
Mm-hmm.
where he once opened for a 1980 new wave band spoon in Hamilton. Spectre interview February 2007. Carrey remarked, "For my career, show business hadn't panned out, probably be working today in Hamilton, Ontario at the Fesco Steel
Meal. Mm-hmm.
Mill.
Good.
We're looking
Okay.
across.
Stop there. Yeah.
Do I
Just stop there.
or-
I'm gonna go through it. So basically, what he's saying is he once opened for. So when you open for, that means you're the first act, and oftentimes you're not very popular, but you're opening up for a very popular band or an act or something like that. So he already started in the 80s, performing, and he was an opening act for the new wave band Spoons. But he says that if his career in show business hadn't panned out, so pan out, that's a phrasal verb, to pan out. It means to be to work out or to be successful. So basically, he's saying that if I didn't really have a good career in show business, then what would be happening to me is I probably would have just been staying in Hamilton, working at the steel mill, and that's a very everyday kind of job, a factory, working in the factory for steel. Steel is metal, the things that things are made out of, So he's lucky it panned out. Yeah. So do you guys understand panned out? Toko, I just explained it. It just means to work out or to be a success. Yeah. You can say something like, "Oh, my plan didn't pan out the way I thought it would." That means it didn't happen the way I thought it would. Okay, Nahum, I'm gonna. Yes, go ahead.
Could you explain steel mill again?
Yeah. So, do you know what steel is? Actually, it's probably easiest if I just show you a picture. Let me just get a picture real quick. So, back east, so I live on the west coast in Washington, but back east in the United States and also in Canada, there's lots of steel mills. So these are big factories where they're going into the ground and they're taking out minerals and they're making steel. So steel is the material that we use to make all kinds of things these days. So, yeah. It's a kind of a hard labor job. It's not like a really high-paying job it's kind of a dangerous job. As you can see, they're working with fire and stuff. So he's saying that that was probably pretty common for young guys to go and get a job in one of these steel mills. That's probably what he would have been doing. So, yeah, in some towns in the eastern part of the United States and in the eastern part of Canada, working in a steel mill has been very popular for young men for many years. So, but it's not necessarily the best job.
Okay, teacher, thanks.
Yeah. All right, so when looking across the Burlington Bay toward Hamilton, he could see the mills and thought, those were where the great jobs were. At this point, he already had experience working in a science testing facility in Richmond Hill, Ontario. So I guess I should add that even though it's not really the best job, it is a pretty good paying job compared to what other people in those towns can actually get. So a lot of times when you're growing up in a steel mill town, you probably want to get a job there because that's probably the best job you can get in that area because it's not like there's a lot of jobs available. So that's why. Okay, Conrad, I'll see you later if you have to go. Thanks for coming. Hope your arm feels better. Okay, now, Nahum, do you want to read that? Nahum?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You want to read that?
Well, so when looking across the boulder mile toward Harrison, he could see the milks and troughs. Those were the great jobs where at this point we already had experience working in a science testing fa- facility in Richmond Hill, Ontario.
Yeah. So he was living in Burlington, and so he would look across the bay. The bay is the body of water, like a bay or other bays, just a big body of water. And he could see the mills. And at that point in his life, when he was young, he thought, oh, that's where the good jobs are. And they're just saying that he already had some other types of working experience. So now we have about 10 minutes left. We're going to read his personal life. So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Carrey has ADHD. He has also stated that he has battled depression. To deal with his depression, Carrey took Prozac, eventually deciding to get off medications. He has stated that he no longer takes medications or stimulants of any kind, not even coffee. Okay, Nukma?
Okay. Personal life attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Carrey has ADHD. He has also stated that he has battled depression. To deal with his depression, Carrey took Prozac, eventually deciding to get off the medications. He has stated that he no longer takes medications or stimulants of any kind, not even coffee.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys know what attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is? Yes, have you heard of that? That's a kind of a thing, yeah. So basically, is that you have a hard time paying attention to one thing. So maybe you start like reading a book, and then pretty soon you get up and you go do something else, and then you do something else, and then you come back, and so it's kind of just having a hard time focusing. And then you have the hyperactive part, means that you have a lot of energy. So you can kind of see in the type of comedy that he does, he has a lot of energy. So you can imagine talking to him might be confusing sometimes, because he's probably going off in many different directions and being very energetic. And here we have that same word again, battling. So again, it's used with talking about an illness, in this case depression. So he has battled depression. That means he's had to deal with it. He's had it, and he took some medicine for it, but eventually, that means like sooner or later, he decided to get off. And so he doesn't use any more medication. A stimulant is something that gives more energy, like coffee. So he doesn't even use coffee anymore. All right, so relationships. Carrey has been married twice. His first marriage was to former actress and Comedy Store waitress Melissa Warner, whom he married on March 28, 1987. The two divorced in 1995. A year later, Carrey married his Dumb and Dumber co-star Lauren Holly on September 23, 1996. The marriage lasted less than a year. Okay. Aisha?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Carrey has been married twice. His first marriage was to former actress and comedy store waitress Melissa Woman, whom he married on March 28, 1978. The two divorced in 1995. A year later, Carrey married his Dumb and Dumber co-star Lauren Holly on September 23, 1996. The marriage lasted less than a year.
Yeah. So he hasn't had much luck being married.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's been married twice, so that's 2 times. Former actress. I mean, she used to be an actress, but maybe now she's doing something else. And then he got divorced, so that means they broke up and they're no longer married. His co-star is actresses that worked with him on that movie, and it lasted. So that means that's how long they were married. It lasted less than a year, even. So they were not even married for a whole year.
I thought he was married twice.
Yeah. Well, he was married twice, and then I think well, now we're going to read, he was also in another relationship, but they didn't get married.
Oh.
Yeah. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Carrey was involved in a series of relationships, including Laurie Holden, January Jones, and Anine Bing. In addition, Carrey had a much publicized yet short-lived romance with his Me, Myself, and Irene co-star Renee Zellweger, whom he dated and at one point was engaged to from 1999 to 2000. Okay, Ana Laura.
Yes, teacher. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Carrey was involved in a series of relationships, including Lauren Holden, January Jones, and Annie Bing. In addition, Carrey had a much publicized yet short-lived romance with his Me, Myself, and Irene co-star Irene co-star Renee. Sorry, I can
Zellweger.
see.
Oh.
I can see the text. Renee
Zellweger.
Whom he dated and at one point was engaged to from 1999 to 2000.
So he basically got around a lot. He had a lot of different relations, a series of relationships, and sounds like much publicized means that a lot of press was talking about it. They were in the media a lot, probably a lot of pictures were taken of them, but it was short-lived. That means it did not last very long, even though he was engaged at one point, so that means at some time, but he never got married. Carrey met model and actress Jane McCarthy in 2005 and made their relationship public in June 2006. In April 2010, the two ended their near 5-year relationship. Despite the split and media circulations, McCarthy stated in October 2010 that Jim and I are still good friends. Okay, Eduardo.
Okay, Carrey met model and actress Jenny McCarthy in 2005 and made their relationship public in June 2006. In April 2010, the two ended their near 5-year relationship. Despite this split and media circulations, McCarthy stated in October 2010 that Jean and I are still good friends.
Okay, so when you make something, it just means that you tell the public, you tell like the newspapers, and you know nobody's gonna care probably about me making anything public, but they want to know what Jim Carrey, who Jim Carrey is dating and what they're doing. So for actors and actresses and movie stars and singers and stuff, a lot of times they keep things secret for a little while and then they make it public. That means they tell the media. Despite the split, so that means despite means even though they split up, they broke up, they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Despite the split and media circulation we're talking about in the newspapers or blogs or something, despite all that, they're still good friends is what they're saying. So Carrey has one child, a daughter named Jane Erin Carrey, born September 6, 1987, from his first marriage. Carrey announced via his Twitter account on February 27, 2010, that his daughter had given birth to her first child, a boy. In 2012, Jane Carrey was a contestant on American Idol. Okay, Man? Okay, Nahum? Somebody read. I think your microphone might be muted.
Okay, I will read it.
Okay, go ahead. Jump in there. We're almost done.
Carrey has one child, a daughter named Jane Erin Carrey, born September 6, 1987. From his first marriage, Carrey announced via his Twitter account on February 27, 2010, that his daughter has given birth to her first child, a boy. In 2012, Jane Carrey was a contestant on American Idol.
Yeah. Okay, and the last little bit we have here is Carrey received U.S. citizenship in October 2004 and remains a dual citizen of both the United States and his native Canada. Carrey has been a critic of the scientific consensus that no evidence links the childhood MMR vaccination to the development of autism, and wrote an article questioning the merits of vaccination and vaccine research for the Huffington Post. Okay, I'm going to skip that part, and then I'm going to read this last part that was kind of interesting. Carrey is a follower and an advocate for the law of attraction. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 1997, Carrey revealed that as a struggling actor, he would use visualization techniques to get work. He also stated that he visualized a $10 million check given to him for acting services rendered. He placed the check in his pocket and 3 years later received a check for $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. Okay, so maybe we should all put checks in our pockets, see what happens.
Is he
So
I'm
joking?
going to try it. I'm going to try it. What, Aisha?
Restarting now.
Yeah, right now. For what, though? For teaching English. Okay, $1 million for teaching English for free on Verbling. Okay. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming and reading about Jim Carrey. Hopefully it was interesting. I think we had some good vocabulary in there for how to talk about people's lives and what they're doing and that type of thing. So thanks for joining.
Where are you living, Isa?
Thank you. Good night.
I live in Washington State in the United States.
Have you met Obama?
Have I met Obama? No. Obama lives in Washington, D.C., and that's on the other side of the country, so I'm not very near, and I have never met him in person. No.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care,
Bye.
everybody.